Welcome to our cooking class. I'm really excited about this. If you haven't been on any of my webinars yet, my name is Jessica. This is my assistant tonight. What's your name?
Logan.
Logan. This is Chef Logan. And I know several of you are in my same situation with quarantine. And we've got our kids at home with us. So Logan's going to help me in the kitchen tonight. Are you excited to make some good stuff? Yeah? Okay, so I posted in the Facebook group, if you guys are part of the My Strength Wellness community on Facebook, the recipes that we're going to do tonight, but they will also be sent out via email with this recording afterwards, so you know. But we're making two healthier desserts tonight, which I'm really excited about. One of them is a super quick one that you can whip up when you have a sweet tooth, and the other one is more decadent and is great for an event or just to have in the fridge when you have a sweet tooth. So we're doing a Coco Loco Wonder Whip is the first one we're gonna go over, and the next one is my personal recipe, and it is famous. I first created it, geez, probably 10 years ago now, which is so crazy to think about. And I've shared it with my clients, and it is a hit. Like, my family all loves it. It's gluten-free, it can be made sugar-free, and it's got superfoods in it, but people ask for it. So it definitely passed the taste test. So I'm excited to pass these two things on to you. So first, let's get started with the Wonder Whip. Are you ready? Okay, so that is this recipe. I took the pictures off. You guys have this. Literally, this takes minutes. It starts with Greek yogurt. This is the brand that I got. Preferably organic. When you're buying any kind of animal products, let me put my hair back real quick. I always recommend buying organic because you're not gonna, because you're not gonna be dealing with the artificial hormones and antibiotics and pesticides and all of that with organic dairy, where you will with conventional. And when it comes to our health and inflammation in the body, we want to keep the toxins to a minimum, right? So this is organic Greek yogurt. We're going to do 1 cup. Logan, can you give me the big measuring cup right there?
You mean this one?
So you guys can see what we're doing. Also, a disclaimer, if you haven't seen my other cooking instructional video, this is a very amateur version. Yep, is that the biggest one? Where's the other? Can you go get me that one, that big one over there? Okay, I think it's that. Yeah, so this is very amateur. I do not have professional camera crews around me. This is on my laptop in my kitchen. That is not set up to do a cooking show. Thanks, bud, high five. So we make the best of it. Okay, so I've got my Greek yogurt. We're doing 1 cup. All right, buddy, so you're gonna help me measure this, and then we're gonna dump it in the glass bowl, okay? The cool part about this is that it will satisfy your sweet tooth, but it's really high in protein. So it's gonna be satisfying, and it's gonna help keep your blood sugar stable, whereas most desserts spikes your blood sugar and your insulin, and then you have a crash, right? And you feel horrible. Well, this is low and very, very low in sugar. Exactly, just like that. And high in protein. Again, it's satisfying, and it's really health promoting more than anything. Okay, so we're gonna do our Greek yogurt here first. And then next, buddy, we're gonna need the vanilla. Can you find the vanilla? Do you remember where that is? That's close to this right here. So I like to do the Greek yogurt, this bottle right here, buddy. The Greek yogurt, excuse me, the vanilla extract and the cacao powder. Thank you. And then we're gonna whip that together, and then we'll add the toppings, and literally that is it. I will tell you that there's so many variations of what you can do with this. This specific idea I got from the nutrition program, one of the nutrition programs I use myself and my clients, called To Be Mindset. And the creator is actually a professor at UCLA, and she created this really awesome nutritional program that's primarily focused on weight loss and without dieting. And she lost 100 pounds herself on it. She has her master's in nutrition. Like I said, she's a professor and she owns a business in Beverly Hills, a nutritional dietitian consulting business in Beverly Hills. And she's like, I don't know, charges $300 for a 30-minute session and it's booked out for 3 years. So it's really awesome that in my business, I was able to be trained by her and certified by her to help implement her program. So this is one of her creations, and there's so many variations. So in this, we're doing cacao powder. So this is one of my favorite brands, Anthony's Organics. I get my cacao nibs from them. I'm sure there's several ingredients on this list that most of you are like, I've never heard of that before, and that's fine. Basically, all this is chocolate powder without unsweetened. It's like chocolate baking powder, but I just like the organic version because it's higher quality. Okay, buddy, so we're gonna need to do 2 teaspoons of this. Are you ready? Okay, so this is the teaspoon. I'll scoop it and you can dump it in, okay? This almost has like a chocolate cheesecake type taste because, good job, I'm gonna do one more. It's kind of tangy with the Greek yogurt. Yep, go for it. Go for it. But it still has that sweetness. Speaking of sweetness, thanks, buddy. Put that right there. This is, I want to make sure that you guys know this is plain Greek yogurt. I don't necessarily recommend getting sweetened because if you look at the sugar content, it's very high. Naturally, dairy has sugar in it, a good amount of sugar in it. Thankfully, Greek yogurt is lower on the sugar content and higher in the protein. But I don't usually recommend getting sweetened yogurts because they're extremely high in sugar. So you can choose your form of natural sweetener. We're going to use stevia. You can use maple syrup or raw honey. Stevia comes in a liquid. Yeah, he's excited about the chocolate chips. And then comes in like little packets. And this is just to taste. So we are going to do a little squirt. I'm going to stir it.
Can I stir?
Yeah, go ahead. Stir away, buddy. This is the whipping part. Fun to do with your kids, right? And when you do things with your kids, especially in making healthy things, they're more apt to actually eat it. Perfect. You're almost done. How does that look? So you can see the picture is obviously much easier. That came with the recipe. Let me see, Bubba. Let me scrape the sides real quick. But it's my lighting, again, amateur camera, and my belly gets in the way. I've had people do this with peanut butter, with PB2, like powdered peanut butter. There's so many variations. If you are a vegan and you don't do Greek yogurt, that's totally fine. You can do a vegan yogurt. I even have had some people, one of the superfood supplements I use is called Shakeology, and I've had people use vanilla or chocolate Shakeology. It's loaded with adaptogens, vitamins, minerals, and digestive enzymes, digestive support, adaptogens, fruits and vegetables, a lot of really powerful stuff. But when you mix it with like a coconut milk, it can form that yogurt consistency. And so it can kind of be the same texture. And that was plant-based as well. So those are just a couple options for those of you who don't do dairy. Okay, now it's just time to throw in toppings. So with this recipe, we're using cacao nibs and shredded coconut, but you can choose to do really, again, whatever you want. One of my favorites is sliced almonds. You could use dark chocolate chips if you'd rather. There's unsweetened shredded coconut. Sprinkle that on top. You want to sprinkle a little too? And then these are cacao nibs, and I don't know if you guys have, for those of you who've never seen them, I'm going to show them too. You can take some. This is what they look like. They're completely unsweetened. So yes, they're chocolate. They're extremely high in magnesium. The pure chocolate, like pure cacao, is actually one of the highest food sources of magnesium on the planet when it comes to food. It's very high, which is awesome. Magnesium is one of the first minerals to be depleted when we're stressed out. And it's one of the theories as to why people crave chocolate when they're stressed. So we're going to sprinkle that on top. And we did it. You're going to try some? No, he doesn't like yogurt. But this is our finished creation. I'm very excited about this. Mmm.
Mommy?
So good. Do you want to try it? She's not my best marketing person for any kind of yogurt dessert. But that's it. Super easy, super quick. Obviously, it will take you seconds because I broke down all the steps. Okay, who's ready to dive into our chocolate cake recipe? Are you ready? He just wants it. He wants to get to the chocolate chip part. Okay, so you can whip out that recipe if you have it in front of you.
Mommy, where's the chocolate chip?
Not there yet. Gotta wait. Also, these are really great to have on hand. If you are someone who likes sweetened beverages, this is called Zevia. If you've never heard of it, Bubba, stop. Put it down. And it's a soda, but it's basically carbonated water and stevia. And then natural flavorings, depending on what form it is. You don't need to eat the salt. Remember, you have to listen to me if you're going to be my helper. Okay, so here we go. Here's my favorite part about this recipe. I've tried it several different ways. And I personally am not a certified chef by any means. I'm not a certified baker by any means. I throw all the ingredients into a blender and I blend it. You can do the same thing in a KitchenAid or with an electric mixer, but this is very simple. So we're just gonna go down the list of ingredients and throw them in the blender. I will say one of the tips to make it a little bit easier is to do some of the wet ingredients first. That way the dry ingredients don't get stuck to the bottom of the blender. Same with the electric mixer. So we will start with, we're gonna do a cup of milk. Over there. Can you grab it? It's kind of heavy, buddy. So I'm using coconut milk. I recommend non-dairy milk, especially for you guys. You can do raw milk as well. When you bake it, it won't be at a super high temperature, so it will still maintain some of the nutrition from the raw milk. Watch out, Ben. Okay, so instead, since our 1 cup measurement is all dirty, we're going to use the 1/2 cup. So I'm going to do 2 of these to make 1 full cup. I like coconut milk for this recipe because it's really thick and creamy. And this is unsweetened. All right, so we've got our milk. I have coconut oil that I already preheated. So I think I actually got this at Grocery Outlet, to be honest with you guys. I've ordered it on Amazon. You can get coconut oil really anywhere these days, and coconut has a lot of Hey, I need you to be quiet, okay? Or you can go sit with Daddy. Coconut has a lot of anti-inflammatory properties, which is really awesome. Watch out, bud. Watch out. So here is, I pre-melted coconut oil because it mixes much better. We're doing a 1/2 cup of that. Watch out, bud. We need 2 eggs. Again, when it comes to any kind of animal products, I'm always an advocate of getting organic or locally sustainably sourced from chickens. That's right. Especially eggs, because eggs are very porous, meaning they have tiny holes in them, and they'll absorb. I mean, conventional chickens, unfortunately, are so severely abused. So many hormones medications, antibiotics, artificial stuff goes into them to make them mass produce, and then we eat the chicken or we eat the eggs that have all that in it. So recommend organic. We're gonna do 2 eggs, okay?
Mommy,
What, bud?
last time when we went on turkey hunting, I thought that was a chicken, but it's not.
You thought the turkey was a chicken?
Yeah.
You want to tell everyone what surgery you just had yesterday or last week that changed your voice?
I had tonsillectomy.
Yeah, he had a tonsillectomy, an urgent tonsillectomy in the middle of a pandemic, so that was fun.
Yeah.
But are you feeling better?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're doing so much better.
The voice change.
Yeah,
Funny.
that is funny. A little bit, huh? All right, we're gonna do a teaspoon of vanilla.
Why did I use that?
You're being a goofball. Okay, buddy. Next is the Dandy Blend. So for those of you who've never heard of Dandy Blend, it is a coffee substitute. Yep, you got it. I'm out of my big bag. I poured it into a small jar, but I have these little samples, so I wanted to just show you what it looks like. It's also linked in the recipe if you wanted to get some yourself. My personal favorite coffee substitute. It's really, oh, thanks, buddy. It's delicious, especially if you make it how you would make your coffee, and it's dissolvable. It dissolves really well in hot water, even in cold water. Buddy,
Are we almost to the chocolate chip part?
we're getting there. So, highly recommend Dandy Blend. If you don't have Dandy Blend, you can just use coffee, or you can use decaf coffee. But you're gonna need a cup of it. So I have a cup of hot water here, and then I'm gonna dissolve one of these packets into the hot water. Now here's the cool part about Dandy Blend is it's made from dandelion. Dandelion's really good for your liver. It's really supportive for the liver.
Over there.
Which, talking about the dandelions in our grass. It's really good to support the cleansing function of the liver. And so the more you drink of this, the better it is to support those cleansing organs in your body, which is a superfood that we get to add to a chocolate cake.
Whoa.
Whoa.
It got black.
Cool. Okay, so that is it for our liquid. So now we're going to go to the dry ingredients.
Where?
First, we're going to do our gluten-free baking mix. This has been one of our family's favorite for a long time. Now, this is not dairy-free, so if you're someone who has to be dairy-free, then you can use, I think Bob's Red Mill 101 is dairy-free, if I remember correctly. Any gluten-free baking mix should be. This is brand new. So we're going to do 1 3/4 cups of this. We use this for everything. Pancakes, it's like a Bisquick, but it's all gluten-free and good ingredients, which I'm thankful for.
No.
Here it goes, huh? Mom's gonna make a mess. Jen laughs at me because I'm notorious for making a huge mess every time I bake. Trying to keep it clean. And yep, we need 1 3/4, and we are just about there. Are you laughing at me? All right, now I poured a little too much. I told you, amateur. But the recipe is really good. Okay. So, whoa, 1 3/4 cups of Pamela's pancake and baking mix. Next, we're gonna do 2 cups, what's up, babe? 2 cups of sugar. Now, this is where you get to upgrade recipes, and you can use these substitutes for any baking recipe. Watch out, please.
Smelling.
Okay. I wanted to show you these two. I thought for sure I had coconut sugar in my house, and we are out somehow. Please don't blow on it.
Okay.
Thank you. So I do have these options, and I wanted to show you what they are. Xylitol bakes really well. It is a sugar alcohol, so it is. It does not spike your blood sugar at all. I will tell you that some people who have really sensitive digestive systems, they don't do well with xylitol. Some people don't digest it very well, but it is really great for the vast majority of people, especially who are diabetic and sensitive to their blood sugar being spiked. And then there's Truvia, which is a blend. I think this one is a mixture of erythritol, which is another sugar alcohol, sugar and stevia leaf. So this is not 100% sugar free, but for some people they prefer the blend. So we are going to, here's my cup, 2 cups. Many times I will combine the coconut sugar and xylitol. You can do a cup of each. You can do whatever you want, but you want to get to 2 cups. So with this situation, I will do part xylitol and part Truvia, so don't use it all.
Are you going to put that in here?
Yep. I am, and then we're going to blend it.
It'll turn it black.
It'll turn brown. What color is chocolate?
Brown.
I guess it depends on your perspective.
Like that color. Brown.
So the great part about this, especially if you use xylitol, even if you use coconut sugar, it has actual nutrition in it, and it's low glycemic index, so it doesn't spike your blood sugar as much as white cane sugar. So it's a much better option. Okay. Okay, 2 cups of that. We are to the cacao powder, so I'm going to bring back to Anthony's unsweetened cacao powder. We need 3/4 cups of that. That's on here. What happened? So we're going to do 1/2 cup.
Already.
I'm going to need to get some fancier measuring cups, huh? And 1/4 cup to make 3/4 of a cup. So good. It smells so good already. All right, next is baking soda. I have mine in a jar already. I ordered baking soda a long time ago in a big bag, aluminum-free baking soda. That's what we use at our house, and we're almost out of it. Okay, 1.5 teaspoons of baking soda. Here we go.
Are we almost to the chocolate chip?
We're almost to the chocolate chip bar. I'm going to use the ones that are clean. We're just going to use the 1/2 teaspoon and do it 3 times. I hope you guys find these recipes kind of helpful. I know this is a weird cooking show to do this, but I know a lot of people don't know these different ways you can kind of upgrade recipes to make them healthier and more nutritious and less damaging for your health with all the sugar and the fats and stuff. We're using all quality ingredients. Okay, next is the sea salt. We're going to do 1/2 teaspoon. Yep, you put that in there. Good job. And guess what? That's it. All of our ingredients are in there. Nope, those aren't yet done. Those are next. So I'm going to put this on a low to medium speed on the blender because I don't want it to explode everywhere. Just until it's well combined. And then I'm going to show you how I prepare the pan. We'll go from there. All right, I have a Vitamix. You don't need one, but they are super awesome. Okay. That's your favorite part. How simple that is.
It's brown.
Yep. Now there will be, watch out, Ben, some powder that sticks to the side, so just scrape that off and you can reblend it or just stir it in. You want to smell it now? Smell it? Mmm, it looks like chocolate pudding. So I don't know if you can see the consistency. Try without spilling it. You'll see it in a second. Okay, so my favorite way to make this cake, I will tell you right now, is with two pans, with two circle pans, and to layer them. And we recently did a kitchen cleansing, and we somehow lost them or got rid of them. So I'm using a rectangular pan, and we're just gonna have a one-layer cake. What?
Can you see something?
Nope, not right now, buddy. Okay, so in order to prepare the pan, you're gonna oil and flour it, and this does help, I will tell you, to get it out. My belly is just continuing to grow and get in the way. So I take a paper towel, dip it in coconut oil, and I just make sure and coat the pan, the sides, and the bottom. Why did I do that? So it doesn't stick. And you can either use some of the cacao powder or the flour, because we're going to flour it, and that also does make a difference and help out with the sticking. So you're going to sprinkle it. Is that funny? And then you're going to kind of bang it and try to get it to kind of spread out. I'm sure there's a much more efficient way to do this that I am not doing. But this works. It works. Okay, so it's dusted with flour. It's been coated with oil. I had already preheated the oven to 350. Good job, babe. Now we're pouring the cake mix in. Pretty cool. And with that goes all of my dirty measuring. Wash that. And then this goes into the oven. And it takes about 30 minutes. Good job, bud. Okay, I'm gonna need you to move your chair, Bubba, so I can open the oven, please. Thank you. And once I put it in, then I'm gonna show you guys how I make the frosting.
How do you make the frosting?
I'm gonna show you. That's where the chocolate chips come in. All right. Set a timer here really quick. I don't know about you guys, but I am the worst when it comes to baking things if I don't set a timer. Usually it smells really good. Okay, so now that the cake's in the oven, unfortunately, I didn't have enough ingredients to do one and have it ready for you to see. I will take pictures after and I'll post it in the Facebook community page. I'd love to see your guys's if you attempt to make this. But while it's in the oven, I usually make the frosting. Now this is kind of, I would say, a combo between frosting and icing because it's not super, it's not like a whipped frosting. This is more, it kind of hardens. My favorite way to eat this cake is, Baba, I need you to be quiet, please. You can go sit with Daddy now. My favorite way to eat this cake is after freezing the cake, especially in the layers, and then doing the icing after when it's warm because it hardens. And I personally just really like the way that tastes. You don't have to do a frosting. You could just do a glaze. You could do homemade whipped cream. I just got from the same company that has the coconut milk. So delicious. They have a whipped cream that you can either buy in the freezer section that's like Cool Whip, or they have a whipped cream liquid that you can whip up in your KitchenAid and make whipped cream. You can put that over it. There's so many different options. This is just one I thought that I'd show you. So in order to do that though, we're gonna have to move over to my stovetop. So come with me. For this, you're going to need chocolate. I hope I'm not making you dizzy. Coconut oil. I'm using dark chocolate chips. You could use a bar of chocolate, whatever you want. I use Dandy Blend in it. You'll see in the recipe. Vanilla. And then depending on how dark the chocolate is that you buy, you may want to add some stevia in order to sweeten it more. Now again, this is to taste. Now, usually I would do, let me see if this works here. Usually I would do a double, like a broiler, a double boiler, where you would get a metal pot and you would put the chocolate and all the ingredients in here on top of a pot that has boiling water in it, and you would stir it this way to prevent the chocolate from burning. I'm not going to do that right now because I don't want to take up all your time and wait for the water to boil. So we're just going to keep it at low temperature right in the pot, okay? What? Okay. Okay. Again, kitchen not set up for this. Let me see if this will work. Let's show you guys what I'm doing here. Okay, so this is funny. So I just bought some dark chocolate chips at the store. You can get organic ones. You can get certified gluten-free, dairy-free ones. Whatever you like. Here's my measuring cup. We're gonna do about 1.5 cups of chocolate chips. We're gonna do some coconut oil. So this recipe calls for about 1/4 cup of coconut oil. Again, you can double this recipe. Bye-bye. Okay. That's fine. You can have them. So the coconut oil, if you don't have coconut oil or you prefer to use like an organic butter, you absolutely can. This is just what I use because coconut oil has so many nutritious benefits to it. All right, we are going to make sure this is low enough temperature. The key with this and to not burning the chocolate, if you can see this, is to just keep it at a lower temperature and keep stirring it. You can see it's starting to melt. You okay?
Yep.
Are you sneezing? You can't see me or that, so that's kind of pointless in that view, isn't it? I hope you guys are getting a kick out of this. Okay, we're gonna put a little bit of vanilla in. If you're someone who likes more of the like mocha kind of taste, then you can put some more of the Dandy Blend in. Or like if you had instant coffee, you could do that as well. So I put Dandy Blend in the recipe, but it's very optional. You do not have to do that. I also, you'll notice, put maca And then I thought that I always had it on hand, and I don't, because the Shakeology that I drink every day has maca in it, and so I stopped ordering it separately. But maca bakes really, really well. I usually love to put it in my baked goods, and it's an adaptogen, it's a stress support, it's great for hormone balancing. It's got a lot of great properties to it. So I like to put it in my frosting because it just adds, again, anywhere I can add superfoods, I'm going to. Okay, I'm gonna add a couple stevia packets, and then I'm also personally, again, this is to everyone's taste, I'm going to add some, a couple pinches of salt, Himalayan salt. And I've mentioned this before in our previous cooking class, but Himalayan salt is actually really amazing because it has the body's 84 essential minerals naturally present in it. And I've always been a believer that chocolate or salt enhances the flavor of chocolate. So you will see here, if I can hold this without dropping it in, that is what it looks like. So it's a very liquid consistency right now. And so what I do with this is I'll put it in the freezer or the fridge and let it thicken up. Stirring it about every 10 minutes. Sorry guys for the angle. And then once the cake comes out, once the frosting is thick enough, I will keep it in the fridge, or I'll let it stay room temperature to where it's still spreadable. And just remember, if it gets too hard, you can just heat it up a little bit and just stir it with a spoon to where it becomes spreadable. And if it's too thin, it will harden over cold cakes, or you can just put it back in the fridge or the freezer and let it thicken up a little bit. And that is really it. Again, I apologize that I don't have a finished product to show you right now, but and again, if you were to make this without me walking you through the steps, it would be actually much quicker. I love the blender trick. It works really well for me, especially with how crazy things are, as you guys can see. That's just one of them. My other mugs are sleeping. And then once I ice it, then I sometimes love to put sliced strawberries on top, or shredded coconut. Makes it look really pretty. We make it a lot of the times for time cakes. You can do it in cupcakes. I would just pay attention to the bake time because you don't want to over bake it. I noticed that when I allow the cakes to freeze, it adds moisture to it. It's a very dense, like rich cake. So yeah, I hope you guys try it. If you have any questions, please let me know. Before we jump off, do you guys have any questions about either of the desserts that we went over tonight by any chance? If so, you can use the chat box, or you can unmute yourself. And if not, that's totally fine too. Oh, cooking time, right? Is that what you meant? So cooking time is 30 minutes for the cake, or until you'll start to smell it, and then, or until, like with any other cake, you insert a knife or a toothpick and it comes out clean. You'll be able to tell that it's done for sure. But it's usually about 30 minutes. Again, I'm sure altitude changes that a little bit, but usually a good 30 minutes, and then it's good. Any other questions? You guys are gonna love this cake. It is so good. It's so good. And I have previous clients of mine that I worked with literally like 8 or 9 years ago message me like, oh my gosh, I still make that cake. It is so good. It's our family's favorite. I've got 6 kids and they all love it. So I really love that it's just an option for, again, it's not as healthy as spinach and kale, but for a dessert option, it is much, much healthier. And especially if you use those alternatives like coconut oil instead of vegetable or canola oil, and if you're using like a baking stevia or a xylitol or a coconut sugar for baking instead of white sugar tremendously changes the nutritious content of what you're doing. The fact that I'm using a gluten-free baking powder that has good ingredients in it versus using a white flour. Those little changes, coconut milk instead of dairy, those changes make a huge difference in the inflammatory response of the body. Not to say, again, that you should eat this for breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day, but when you look at the ingredients themselves, they're all clean ingredients as long as they agree with your body. If you are someone who doesn't do eggs, you can always do an egg replacer, no problem. We've played around with a couple of those. So yeah, I hope this was helpful. Again, please join the My Strength Wellness Facebook community if you're not already a part of it. And feel free to reach out to me in there, send me pictures of your desserts or your Wonder Whip if you make it, and let me know what you used in it and how you liked it. And if you have any questions for me, the nutrition programs that I use for my clients or the recipes or any of the coaching that I do, I'd be more than happy to talk with you. And you have my contact info. My email is thehealthpatriot@gmail.com. My website is health-patriot.com. And then again, I'm on Facebook in the community. So I hope you guys are staying safe and healthy with your families. And I hope that these recipes help get you through this next round of quarantine for however long it is. All right, you guys have a good night.